Hello, I'm Sharon. I'm going to be teaching a 30-minute Pilates, and it's going to be all levels. So if you're just starting, there's modifications, and also there's going to be challenging exercises as well. So, and I always say just do it continually, consistently, and then you'll see the progress. It's a process to develop the muscles that we use in Pilates. So we're going to start with our heels together and our feet turned out. And then you want to kind of tuck your hips under a little bit. There's a movement there with your hips. Pull the belly in, belly button to spine. Shoulders back and down so you're standing as tall as you can. We're just going to start in Pilates stance. The breath for Pilates is in through the nose, out through the mouth. So you're going to take a big inhale. Exhale all of the air out through your mouth. Big inhale. One more time. Big inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. From Pilates stance, I'm going to move from heels together, toes turned out to kind of a wider stance. Now both of your feet are straight forward in a parallel position. Belly's still pulling in, belly button to spine, shoulders back and down. I'm going to do a rounded C-curve stretch. So I'm going to drop my chin to my chest, and I'm going to slowly lower one vertebrae at a time until you're just kind of hanging down here, top of the head aiming toward the floor. The spine is in the shape of a C, and we'll be doing this throughout class, but you'll notice from the side view that the spine is in the shape of a C here. And you can bend the knees if you like, if you want to. I don't ever really fully lock my knees out. I want to keep a nice soft knee. So the goal is just to feel the stretch. If your hands aren't touching the mat, that's not the goal. It's just to kind of feel the stretch and the connection between mind and body. We're going to slowly bring it up, one vertebrae at a time. So you're going to stack the vertebrae, one on top of the other. Shoulders back and down, big inhale. Slight extension in the spine, lifting the chest up, and then exhale. Okay, we'll continue to warm up a little bit on the mat. We don't need any tools for this. So I'm going to come down controlling my movement. And you want to come down without plopping. So that wasn't very graceful, but that's okay. Nobody's perfect. So let's hug both knees in, and we're going to kind of rock side to side, warming up the center. Just remember, if you don't remember how to breathe or when to breathe, don't hold your breath. So I'm going to go right into our first exercise called the roll up. All right, so stretch out onto the mat. Anchor your heels down, flex your feet. Sometimes that helps to anchor your lower body. Going to stretch out, make sure that your back doesn't arch. Belly's pulling down, close your rib cage. This is called a roll up. So you're going to take a big inhale. Exhale, see if you can stretch past your feet. And you'll notice this is our C-curve position as well. So you want to, the first thing you do is you tuck your chin in to start that process of rounding the spine. Pull the belly in, stretch past your feet if you can. And then as you lower, you want to control the movements one vertebrae at a time. So big inhale. All right, let's do one more. Inhale. Stretching past your feet there. And then as you lower, one vertebrae at a time. Hug both knees in. Kind of rock side to side. Going to do the roll over. And this is a little bit more advanced. And if you have an issue getting over, it's okay. I'll show you a couple tricks that you can do. Otherwise, bring both feet together, arms down, legs right above your hips. So I'm going to point my toes, inhale, exhale over. From there, I'm going to move my feet apart, flex my feet, and as I lower my hips, my head and shoulders stay down. Both feet together, point your toes. Inhale, exhale over, move feet apart, flex your feet, slowly lower one vertebrae at a time. So it's that part of lowering your hips. Keeping your head and shoulders down is going to strengthen the core. And if you have an issue getting over, just start very, very slow here. There, and then come back down. So just kind of start in this position and then come back down. And then the more you do that, the stronger you'll get in your core. Otherwise, both feet together, point your toes, exhale over, and then as you lower, flex your feet. We're going to do, so that's called the rollover. I'm going to do a couple leg circles. I'm going to start with my left leg down, imprint my back into the mat. I'm going to circle around with my right leg. And as I do that, I want to keep my hips nice and still. So it's not really a leg exercise, it's more about your core. And you're keeping your hips from rocking side to side. Nice, smooth, round circles. Make sure you're breathing, not holding your breath, and then let's reverse that. So I'm going to do the same leg, but I'm just going in the opposite direction. And I'm really super gluing my back to the mat. Beautiful. All right, let's switch. Other leg, left leg goes up, circle away. And if you have tight hamstrings, you can bend your knees. You can bend your knee a little bit because the movement comes from your hips. So you want to keep your hips nice and still. No rocking side to side. In the beginning it might happen, but eventually you want to keep those hips from rocking. And then let's reverse that. So the whole part of your back is pressing down into the mat. 4 more, and 3, and 2, and 1. Beautiful. Going right into series of 5, working specifically on abdominals now. So I'm going to lift my shoulders up, my chin's going to tuck into my chest. Single leg stretch. If your neck gets tired, put your head down. So I'm going to inhale here through my nose, exhale through my mouth. So this is called single leg stretch. Okay, so inhale, exhale, and what you're doing is you're pulling that belly button down, really thinking about the movement here so that mind-body connection is happening. I'm going to go right into straight leg stretch. So I'm reaching up toward my ankles, my legs are straight. Always take a break whenever you need to. And so inhale, exhale. Let's go 2 more sets. Inhale, exhale. Last time, inhale, exhale. We'll take a break there. Okay, let's do some crisscross, opposite elbow to knee, working obliques. Hands back behind the head. And so I'm going to bring my opposite elbow to my knee. My other elbow, I'm going to bring it down and then switch. This is called crisscross. Sometimes we call it bicycle. So the thing here is you're lifting your shoulder coming up, lifting that shoulder up. So even though it's your elbow touching your knee, you really want to think about picking that shoulder up, keeping those hips nice and still. So your hips aren't rocking, making sure that you're rotating the upper body, keeping that lower body still. Okay, so 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both legs up. We're going to lower the legs here and then exhale the legs up. Inhale and exhale. We're almost done with the series of 5. As you lower your legs, try not to let your belly pooch up. Try not to let your back arch. Inhale. Last time. Double leg stretch and we're done. So stretch both arms and legs out. Pull the knees up, arms to the side. Inhale, lengthen. Inhale, lengthen. Try not to drop your head when you stretch your arms, unless you're giving your neck a break. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Just bring the head and shoulders down. Kind of rock side to side. So those were abdominals. We have 4 layers of abdominal tissue that we tried to work on there. Now we're going to work the back muscles and glutes and hamstrings. So oppositional muscle group. Arms down, and so we're just going to move our feet about shoulder distance apart, lifting the hips up. Hips are lifted. I'm going to bring my left foot to the center just a little bit. My right leg is going to come up. And I want to keep my hips lifted. So I'm going to keep those hips nice and lifted. I'm going to pull my right leg up towards me. I'm going to point my foot, flex my foot as I lower down toward the floor. And I want to try to keep my hips lifted. So inhale, exhale away. Inhale. So we want to do it slow and controlled. Don't want to go too quickly, and really feel that movement. All right, beautiful. Lower that right foot, but stay lifted. Now bring your right foot a little bit to the center, left leg up. Pull your left leg up, punch your foot, flex your foot, lower it down. So inhale, exhale. So inhale, exhale. Make sure you're breathing. Sometimes we focus so much that we hold our breath. So make sure that that breath is continuous. Inhale, exhale. One more. Beautiful. Lower that left foot. Bring it down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Hug both knees in. So you should have felt that in your back, glutes and hamstrings. Beautiful, let's come up all the way. We're gonna go into the rolling series. So I'm gonna start at the front of my mat. This is called rolling like a ball. So we're gonna stabilize here. I'm just gonna hold at my ankles. My heels are off the mat. So I don't wanna start with my feet down. I wanna start lifting here. My chin is tucked in. So I'm rounded with my C curve. I'm gonna roll back, and then as I come back up, I'm gonna keep my feet off the mat. So I'm gonna stay nice and tucked. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale. Inhale. We'll do one more. Inhale. Going from rolling like a ball to the seal. Arms are gonna go through the legs and then wrap around. So we're gonna tap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Take it back. 1, 2, 3. A little different than rolling like a ball because the knees are turned up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Exhale up. So your rounded spine. Your spine is rounded and you're pulling your belly button in. And last time. Beautiful. From there, we're going to go into open leg rocker. Okay, open leg rocker. So, I'm holding at my ankles here. I want to lift up. So my back is straight, even though it's on an angle. My belly's pulling in, my chest is open. So I don't want to be here. I'm going to lift up, stabilize there. Now, if it's hard for you to stabilize here, hold it here until you feel confident in that position. If you want to add a roll to it, you would inhale, round the spine, exhale up. So you would inhale, exhale up back into a nice straight spine. Try to straighten the legs if you can. Inhale. Okay, 2 more. Inhale. Last time. Beautiful. Okay, nice. All right, so from there, I'm gonna go into the teaser. So I'm gonna lower my arms and legs at the same time. I'm gonna scoot up on the mat so I'm centered. So I'm gonna stretch out, just like the roll up, the first exercise. So I'm gonna stretch way out, my lower back's pressing down. Close your rib cage, pull your belly in. You're gonna lift up into a V. This is a little bit more advanced and it can show you a modification. As you lower, you're going to try to control that movement as you lower both arms and legs. Let's do one more, and I'll show you a modification. This is more advanced. So what you can do if you're having a hard time with that is start with your arms to the side here, and I'm doing the same thing with my upper body, but I'm going to use my hands to help me lift up and anchor here, right by the knees there, and then as you lower, you can have a little bit more control there. So modification for the teaser, and then lower one vertebrae at a time. Beautiful. Let's bring both knees in, kind of rock side to side again. I'm going to transition now to tabletop position. So, I'm going to bring the hands right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Drop the head round the back, all the way through neutral to extension, head and tailbone going up toward the ceiling. Just stretch the spine out a little bit. It's called cat-cow in yoga. So flexion of the spine here, and then extension, head and tailbone toward the ceiling. Okay, so let's do bird dog. I'm going to bring my left arm and my right leg back, and I want to stabilize. I'm going to keep my hips from turning. I want to breathe. Okay, and switch. So I want to try to keep my body as still as I can. Just looking down at the mat. Belly's in. Okay, and left arm, right leg again. So from here, I'm going to add a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to bring both arm and leg directly to the side, stabilize, and then up to the front. Okay, so switch, right arm, left leg, stabilize there, and then bring both arm and leg to the side, and then back to the front. Stretch back into a child's pose. So when my muscles are warm, I like to turn my knees out so I can really feel that hip opening up there. And just breathe. Okay, let's go into some plank work. So I'm going to just bring it up into full plank. The couple things you can do if you have wrist issues, you can do front plank on your elbows. You can also modify it, bringing your hips down on your knees. Just make sure if you're here, you don't want to let your hips sink down. So there's a little bit, there's something for everybody. So we'll just hold here in front plank. A couple of things you want to think about is you're pulling your belly button back toward your spine and tilting your hips underneath. That way you can get that full engagement there. Now, if you want to add a little bit more of a challenge, bring the left arm just straight out in front. Try not to turn your hips. Don't have to, you can still just hold it here if you like. I'm just adding a little bit of a movement to the front plank. Okay, so I'm going to bring my right knee in, tuck it in, and switch. Tuck it in, and switch. Tuck it in. So it's all about controlling the movement. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Okay, 2 more. And last time. Beautiful. Drop down on your knees. Stretch back into a child's pose again. If you can bring your hands back behind, stretching out the shoulders and the chest. If that hurts you, then don't do it, okay? So let's do a little bit of a side, outer thigh strengthener. I'm going to bring my left hand underneath my left shoulder. My right elbow is up. I want to line my hips and my shoulder. So try not to be here or back. So I'm going to lift my right leg up okay? And then lower. So my leg is in a parallel position, and I'm just going up about hip height, okay? So lift up. And as you're doing that, you want to try to keep your body still and that elbow is pointing up toward the ceiling. All right, beautiful. Let's do one more. Hold it. We're just going to do circles, circles forward, small, round, smooth circles. As you do that, you're trying to keep your body still. Beautiful. All right, let's reverse it. And nice, smooth, round circles. If you need to take a break, please do. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, let's switch. So we're gonna switch sides. Line your hand, your knee, and your foot all in one line. And elbows going up, so shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked. So we're gonna lift up and lower. You might notice one side of the body. Sometimes you feel you might be working a little harder. So one side of the body usually is a little stronger or weaker. So as you come down, try not to drop that leg down, coming up with control and then lowering it. All right, so let's go 2 more. And hold that leg up. Circle, we're gonna circle forward. And I'll count us down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Stretch back again into a child's pose. This time, in your child's pose, bring both arms over to the right corner of the room. And other corner. Make sure that you're warmed up here with our next stretch. Hopefully you're warmed up. Gonna go into extension of the spine. So you're gonna lift your chest up toward the ceiling, and you can bend your elbows if you need to. So the further your hands are away from you, the less extension. If you bring your hands in a little closer to the shoulders, then you're gonna have more arch in your back. So it's whatever you can do. Everybody's different. Beautiful. Bring it all the way down. Gonna go into down dog type of stretch here. So in this position, the back is straight and you want to try to get your head in between your arms. Try to get the heels down if you can. The goal is to get the back straight here. And so I'm going to keep my hands right where they are, and I'm going to come up on the balls of my feet. So we're starting to cool down here. Muscles are warm. Press the heels into the mat, one at a time, as if the floor is soft and you can press your heel into the floor. Press both heels down, hold it. Lengthen your back. You can also bend your knees here, that if you have tight hamstrings. All right, let's walk our hands to our feet, and we're going to hang down here again. Top of the head aiming toward the floor. Grab onto your elbows. Just feel the gravity helping you stretch here. Connecting mind to body. Where are you feeling that stretch? Make sure you're breathing. If this is not comfortable, it may be because you're not used to stretching. So start stretching. Stretch a little bit every day and hold it for 30 seconds. So we're going to come up slowly, stacking the vertebrae, one on top of the other. And then as soon as we get back up, a nice and tall, shoulders back, bellies in, big inhale. And exhale through the mouth. So I'm going to bring one more stretch. I'm going to bring my heels together, my feet turned out, bellies pulling in, shoulders back and down. I'm going to stretch back. Chest lifted up toward the ceiling. Make sure you're breathing. And that's it. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day.